All right. So our first story, I'm sure you all remember. It's been a little over a year ago, I think, this was when this really hit the newsstands. But this did a fictional 1800s book series about Barron Trump predict Donald Trump's presidency. Some people sure think so. So this is not news. This is not new news. And trust me, there's new news to talk about here. But the Tyler character is a book series is introduced as a wealthy boy who lives in Trump Castle. Yeah, so it's a story, and you know, the correlation is not causation, but yeah, it's a Barron Trump collection. There's a collection of stories by Lockwood Ingersoll. Donald Trump rides an escalator. Oh, yeah, that's just telling us what the picture is. People are drawing a parallel between President Donald Trump and a 19th century book series about a wealthy time traveler. Ingersoll Lockwood's Barron Trump novels were originally written between 1889 and 1893. They resurfaced in 2017 when people noted the similarities between the book's titular character and the real-life estate baron, who coincidentally has a son named Barron Trump. Oh, hello, Seth. Hello, Aunt Jor. Let's see, where was I? The collection of books consists of 3 stories: Travels and Adventures of Little Barron Trump, and his wonderful dog, Bugler, Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey, and The Last President. The character is introduced as a wealthy boy who lives in Trump Castle, similar to the president, who has a penthouse in Trump Tower. In the first 2 books, the character travels through time with his dog, Bugler, and meets various people from different cultures. The final book, however, focuses on the rise of the controversial U.S. president. According to the synopsis, the country is torn by division and dissent, and there are references to a hotel on Fifth Avenue in New York where Trump Tower is located. The president-elect is described as an outsider who causes a chaotic atmosphere. Politico wrote about the book series' newfound popularity in 2017. The titular character was described as someone who can't stop talking about his brain and once successfully sued his tutor, alleging that they owed him money for everything he had taught them. Despite certain characteristics of the Baron and real-life Trump being similar, such as the ability to spew insults, unwillingness to try new foods, and an inflated sense of I guess it's probably supposed to be a sense of self, inflated sense of self, I would say. Wow, this is People magazine too. Finding typos with them. I like the word titular. It has the word tit in it. Me too. Very good observation. Unwillingness to try, and per Politico, the comparisons pretty much end there. Yeah. Conversations about the books have continued into 2025 with people making similar comparisons. A recent video shared on X claims that the books have an eerily similar story to what we're seeing today. The narrative says that in the books, Barron Trump has a mentor named Don, which he related to President Trump's first name. Another video recently shared on TikTok, my tongue's a mess today, on TikTok dives into a time travel theory, going as far as to claim that the books are proof that Trump is a time traveler. More recently, Joe Rogan explored the cemetery. I told you my tongue is insane today. The similarities in the January 28th episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. After reading the synopsis in a series, Rogan said, "Is life real? I think life's mostly real, but this is the problem with the whole idea of simulation theory. If it's true, if there is a simulation, and if we develop technology where the simulation becomes indiscernible from reality itself, how will we know? Maybe we will know from goofy clues like this, like silly coding Easter eggs." Yeah, so how it would happen. Be Easter eggs left with history. Finding these sorts of parallels in popular culture is nothing new. This kind of reminds me of, the Simpsons thing, which is going to refer to, but also all the way back to the Kennedy and Lincoln correlations and stuff. For example, the Simpsons have often been credited with predicting the future, most recently with Kamala Harris's presidential run in July 2024. Showrunner Al Jean highlighted a 2000 episode called Bart to the Future, in which Lisa Simpson, dressed in a similar outfit to Hillary Clinton, is in an episode where the cartoon character became the first female president of the United States. Previous episodes also seemingly predict Richard Branson's trip to space, the historic January 6, 2021 insurrection, and Cypress Hill's July 10th performance with the London Symphony Orchestra. Executive producers and showrunners Matt Selman told Deadline in 2022 there is a method of prediction, but keeping the show fresh is still the team's greatest creative challenge. Luckily, the world keeps delivering things that need reflecting on in Springfield's mirror. So that's a thank you to the world, but also the world needs to do better, he explained to the outlet. Perhaps the same can be said about the Trump books, about the Barron Trump books. So why is this news? Why are we talking about this today in 2026 when this has been tread over since 2017, almost a decade? Because, yay, new conspiracy stuff just dropped about time-traveling Trump. Mysterious Trump airships appear in the 100-year-old sketchbook, sparks time traveler theories. A wild theory claims President Donald Trump, this is from the Daily Mail, by the way, so you know it's good. Trump's airship appearing in a 100-year-old. Where was I? A wild theory claiming President Donald Trump may be a time traveler with clues scattered through art and literature for more than a century. Sketches of futuristic aircrafts drawn by artist Charles Delachaux, a Prussian immigrant who came to the U.S. in 1850 and died in 1923, mysteriously contain the word Trump and even feature the number 47, the number of the president of the U.S. has had. Yeah. Okay. Before his death, Delachaux created depictions of fantastical flying machines that he called accurse, which often resembled a mix of early airships, balloons, and primitive airplanes. However, conspiracy theorists have seized on the repeated appearance of Trump's name and the numbers associated with both the term in the White House as the 45th and 47th commander-in-chief. The extraordinary theory has also been connected to an old novel by Ingersoll Lockwood from the 1800s. Yeah, we just talked about that, in which features a character named young Barron Trump who embarks with his mentor Don. The Lockwood books, let's just rehashing all that. Let me see what we just went over. While some claim the artist and author have some mysterious method of knowing the future, others have claimed without evidence that these similarities prove the Trump family has time travel technology and use it to influence world events. One person on social media claimed either Trump is a time traveler or someone put a 200 years of work to make a guy who wasn't even born yet look like he is one. All right, here's the artwork too. Let's look at them. So we got this one. Looks kind of like a train. I think it's a train. There's a little conductor guy on the front of it. Looks like it is on tracks with these wheels and everything. And it says Trump right there. And it's got red, white, and blue stripes behind it. And Trump's written in gold. I don't know how well that's coming through. But yeah. So there's that one. And then we got this one. And this is the one with, it says arrow up Trump. And then there's a 45 down there, which is 45th president. So that's the conspiracy there. All right. And then That's just a picture of Trump, of the Trumps. Here's another one. It says Trump right there. It's Houston, Texas. World's dumbest family definitely does not have time travel technology. I mean, call it like you see it. Absolutely, I'm here for that. Call it like you see it. All right, and here's the book's covers to Baron Trump. All that jazz. All right. According to the American Visionary Art Museum in Maryland, Delachaux's fictitious arrows were powered by an anti-gravity substance he envisioned called NB gas, non-binary gas. They're going to drain the NBs and use them to fuel their airships or soup to enable them to fly without normal fuel. The technology is eerily similar to descriptions of UFOs, which the government calls unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAPs, and the president has vowed to disclose to the American people during his term. Delachaux's sketches include one showing a golden-haired figure steering a machine labeled with number 45. Another links to Trump serving as the 45th president. Our number linked. Okay, and then the mystery surrounding the Delachaux sketches has sent conspiracy theorists searching for every possible clue that Trump and his youngest son Barron could have traveled through time. One quote that has gained attention is Trump saying, "I know things that other people don't know," both during his 2016 presidential campaign and after he won the White House. Trump's past comments on nuclear power have also raised eyebrows, and the president has claimed that his uncle, Dr. John Trump, would explain the power of what was going to happen, and he was right. Celebrity and podcast host Logan Paul. We gotta give Logan Paul all the credit, right? Logan Paul has even asked Trump's granddaughter Kai about the Lockwood books and whether it was proof that the human race was living in a virtual simulation. The teen said she was certain that Barron was not a time traveler, adding, "I don't go down rabbit holes. I don't even want to go down those rabbit holes." The mystery grows even stranger when conspiracy fans begin to examine Lockwood's connection to the time travel theory. He was an American political writer and novelist who wrote 2 children's books titled Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Adventures and Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bugler. However, Lockwood also created the ominous political tomb, The Last President, a story which opens in New York City right after the election of an enormously unpopular candidate. The 19th century author wrote that police officers shouted through the streets as mobs of vast size are organizing under the leader of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the house of the rich. The houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. Eat the rich. Is this that guy saying that? All right, I'm going to hear him. Let's hear him.
There's a lot of other details to the Donald Trump time traveler conspiracy theory, but what I want to focus on is this newly discovered book. So the other day, a post pops up on 4chan about this book. I know what you're thinking. It's 4chan, right? It's got to be a hoax. That's what I thought, too. That's what I thought. So I'm going to show you this book. It's a book written by a man called Ingersoll Lockwood. But the name of this book? Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And here you can see a drawing of Baron Trump and his dog. See, Baron Trump, this character Baron Trump, who I will note is spelled different from the Baron Trump of anime fame. Baron Trump stars in a number of books written by this author, Ingersoll Lockwood. These books include fantasy stories of Baron Trump and his dog going on adventures, including things such as time travel. Now, seeing this on 4chan, obviously the
Wang.
first assumption is this is either a hoax or somebody just made it as a joke, right? But then you look up the book and the author, and these are real books that are hosted on both the Library of Congress, and you can buy a hard copy on Amazon.
Just like The Simpsons. Yes, that's Wang.
I'll put links in the description. And this can still all be explained away various ways. I mean, you see the picture, the drawing of Little Baron Trump. Kind of does look like, you know, our Baron Trump. Except, you know, it's a
Wang
very
is great.
sketchy pencil drawing, which can kind of look like
I couldn't agree more, honey.
anybody you want it to look like to some extent. And any child maybe has a childlike face. Then there's also the possibility that Donald Trump had heard of the book before and simply named Baron after the character. Considering that the book bears his name, it's very likely that somebody at some point in his life brought it to his attention. And although it's kind of a weird coincidence to have a character named Baron Trump in the late 18th century, especially since Baron Trump is kind of an unusual name,
Yeah, late 19th century, but yeah.
there's a much more weird coincidence slash potential prophecy in another book by this same author entitled The Last President. Yes, The Last President. Now, the book The Last President opens up describing...
Alright, let's just recap what we just read. Alright, so that's the ongoing latest chapter in the time-traveling Trump conspiracy. We have now paintings. Nifty little paintings, so... Hell yeah.